Welcome back to Song of the Nameless. This is session 15 entitled Giant Secrets. Last session, the group entered into a kind of very strange looking castle within the clouds of the floating mass of rock. The pillars of the castle kind of gleam white on their sides when they looked at it from the outside, but now as they look at it more closely, it seems to be more gray and dull. They've explored a little bit after fighting a pack of Neogi. Was pronouncing it wrong last time, I think. Um, and after butchering those innocent uh, slave masters, yeah, right. They entered into the castle, explored a bit, and they've sent a familiar over to what appears to be a strangely silenced space in the center courtyard of the castle. It is looking in on what appears to be a fight between a cloud giant and a storm giant. There's a Goliath at a horn overwatching the fight, and further up on the high tower on the south side of the courtyard is a Goliath woman watching in kind of regal finery. She has a lot of similarities, the Goliath woman, in just her stature, her features, um, to your companion, Sarah. Um, Her hair is black, though, instead of kind of the reddish color that's pretty typical of Ordris um, folk, or Ordric noble folk. But yeah, the fight concluded at the end of the session. They both get up and kind of stand there for a time, looking at each other. The only things that can be heard outside of this space are the loud thuds against the ground that they make when one or two of them fall at a time. Would you like to recall your raptor?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can the raptor hear?
So the
Yes.
raptor can. Yeah.
Okay.
The only difference between what was outside and what was inside is that they're kind of heavily grunting and fighting, um, probably yelling. Not really anything of substance or that seems to be kind of like translatable.
hmm
And then that's it. If the Raptors are called before they kind of start their second or whatever number round of conflict, then um, they wouldn't hear any other noises.
And there wasn't like an audience, right?
No,
It
not
was
really.
just like these two
Yeah,
folks on the edges and the combatants.
correct.
This seemed like more of like a death battle or more like sparring each other.
For the bits that the Raptor would have taken in, it definitely looked like it was a conflict to the death, and the strike, the karmic strike, so to speak, of them kind of striking each other at the same time and causing each other to fall, um, looked like it was pretty vicious. A strike. Um, they both got up from it, but yeah, it definitely looked like it was um, attacks meant to kill.
But now they're just standing there staring at each other.
Kind of
No,
looks
they
like,
were starting a second round when I
Oh,
was flying
yeah.
off.
Best way to
sorry.
describe it would be they kind of like moved back to their corners or sides rather in this instance, and then they looked like they were preparing to continue at it.
Can I ask about the space we're in? Is this space lower?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're kind of on the ground floor, which is about the same as where they're standing inside, and then there's a
Okay.
massive wall in between you and them.
Okay. Okay.
And then yeah, you came to the top of the tower that you're next to. At the top of it, there's kind of this bubble of just like silence that seems to block the wind, block sound, and the like. And you've learned that there seems to be a bubble and kind of a barrier of wind around the center portion. That when the raptor pierced the veil, was able to see things that they couldn't see before that point, and hear things they couldn't hear. Okay. Just let me know where you want to go and how you want to get there.
Wasn't it like the original idea we had is going over here, right?
Mm-hmm. So when you come
Guess
around
let's go over there.
to this side, a couple of notes. First things first, looks like these gates do pass through, but they're kind of filled with like a grayish fog. There is no such door here. Just these pathways that kind of lead. Looks like they go underneath the fortification, but are again, the archways are filled with kind of a grayish fog. Behind you are very large, massive stone doors. Basically, instead of just like a single slab kind of portcullis, of metal, looks like one of those has been kind of bolted to a massive stone frame, and that's slotted inside of this space. So they are both currently down, meaning that your passageway into the courtyard or arena is currently barred.
Cindrix and Tommel, you two get in marching order. Don't and stay behind me and Sarah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know you two are very excitable. Okay. So from here, our way is barred north, or
So,
it's fogged.
Yeah, these passageways look like they go through, but they're
Uh-huh.
filled with like a grayish fog that's very hard to see through.
That's normal. And then these,
Are-
we can see
Well,
this
you
is
can't see
barred.
through them. Yeah, you can't see through them. Basically, it's like they took a steel portcullis, and then where the rivets kind of link the metal, they also shoved rivets through a massive stone column or slab, which is kind of slotted in that position. So, like, instead of dropping just a portcullis, they're also dropping these massive stone blocks. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a steel reinforced stone door that is ascending and descending.
Oh, and I'm sorry if this has been already covered, but who's running?
Great question. I will again put it to all as per usual, and just do what you gotta do.
I'll take them.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Only fitting.
All right. Should have control. You got it, Gito?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. So, yeah, then again, from that position, the two passageways that kind of lead through, filled with the dark gray fog, there is no passageway like here. Double checking my notes here. Yeah, there's no passageway there. And the walls are very kind of high here, so about 40 feet up for the walls. Higher than the walls that you kind of encountered on the sides.
Can I try something? He says to the group.
Yeah, of
Go
course.
ahead.
Cool. Tommel's gonna
Okay.
use his hat of wizardry to try and cast Gust down one of the tunnels to see if I can get a brief moment of visibility through the fog.
Sure. So when you do so, the fog kind of blows out, and you do see through the fog. But what you realize is there's this strange kind of scintillation in that space. It's almost like floating in
And
the air.
detect magic
Okay, 1 second.
Sorry.
So the scintillation that you see in the physical medium before the tech magic is cast, um, it kind of looks like the effect of like oil and water, but like floating in air.
Hmm.
When you cast detect magic, what you'll note is the stone itself is kind of potently magic. It has a very kind of elemental evocation to it, a reddish color, and that's all of the rock here. The ground you're standing on, the walls, etc., all kind of have this reddish tinge when you enter into the arcane spectrum. The walls of fog are blue. Any other questions?
And blue is what? Abjuration?
Correct. Protection magic.
I don't think so. Does the fog quickly refill the space?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we go through the fog cloud, we're gonna enter a boss arena. Right.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That
Thanks.
could definitely happen.
That makes the most sense if you think about it.
Sorry, the Dark Souls of me is speaking to me there. First thing that came to my mind.
Me too.
Hmm. Wait. Can't Scarin fly over it and see like across, right?
Yeah, Scarin can fly up and fly over. Do you want
Could
to?
also send the.
Do, but at the same time, I don't want to be seen.
Oh yeah, true.
We can send the familiar again.
The film, yeah, that's probably safer.
Okay. As I've described, you can see everything that you can see. Are you looking for anything in particular?
If I fly up over the cloud and look down the tunnel backwards, anything different?
No, it's identical.
There doesn't seem to be anything on this side, so
Yeah, just a big old tower. The tower itself is probably one of the larger features in this place. It stands a good, 300 or so feet up. On the south side of it, you can see that there are steps that lead up to a massive pair of double doors that stand about 30 feet tall. They are made out of lapis lazuli, which is kind of a bluish kind of stone with white flecks throughout. The stone in question seems to have been fashioned in bas relief to depict two birds kind of entangled at the feet, and it looks like within their claws is almost like a scroll-like kind of addition. Very kind of artistic looking kind of scroll-like thing. There does appear to be script on it, but it does look like it's kind of weathered to a point that it's very hard to read. The other features of the tower that you would note is that on the southwest side there is a massive hole. It's been kind of blown out of the top. If you fly up, and this has been kind of noted before, the ground of the roof of the place is fallen in, and the structure at its base is supported by these buttresses that have blue crystals kind of lining down them that kind of glow with a magical light. You can see those here. And the raptor would note that the same kind of bubble effect that is present is kind of present around the tower's top as well.
okay.
Do you send the raptor to the top to inspect it inside the bubble?
From the very top, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I want to like fly up over the bubble and kind of like pop in almost in the middle
There's
here.
no visual sight. It seems to be kind of this strange kind of filled with this dark gray mist. It doesn't appear to be the same kind of mist, just obscuring. But the thing that the raptor would be able to pick up and detect is via it's listening.
Yeah.
It does appear to be breathing. Let me make sure that's
Singular
clear.
entity or
It does seem that the tower itself
is breathing.
is breathing.
Cool. Don't love that. Says it out loud, exactly like that. So it feels like the tower is breathing, and I don't love that.
Power is breathing.
Like, we might walk through, and the tower might be the thing that tries to stop us. You know?
Oh, how does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you can with the right magic ritual, I think, make anything into a construct.
Oh, that's fair.
Even
Well, at first I was going to reject that question as utter foolishness. Of course, with magic, anything can happen, and yet constructs normally don't breathe. So, whatever is in there is probably more interesting than.
At least I only heard one thing breathing.
Thank goodness for small blessings.
Sure call.
it is.
I'll step through the fog.
Yeah, let's all just go through the fog.
When you hit the
Fucking
fog
die.
line,
Boss fight.
Tommel, as you kind of walk in, it feels like you're walking into saran wrap. And you kind of just like push a little bit in, and then it kind of snaps back and kind of causes you to step back a bit. You realize that strange kind of prismatic field appears to be not quite a wall of force, but like it seems to be barring you from passing it, like a membrane of like
It's insane.
permanent magical material that doesn't let you bypass it.
Are there any doors along these walls? Windows?
Not on those walls, no. Yeah, not that you see on this side. If you want to continue your circuit around the core structure, we can certainly do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd see that this long side on the left definitely looks like the wall is not. This castle's not symmetric. It looks like there's kind of a guardhouse of sorts at the end instead of a tower, like on the other side. And as you kind of walk down to it, you would realize that there's a small little kind of area on the south side of this little guardhouse. And there does appear to be an entrance on the south wall of it.
So far. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this like just cosmetic? Is this anything?
Yeah, it just appears to be kind of like fortified kind of structures that are kind of cosmetic also in addition. Buttresses, if you will.
I don't think we've gone all the way to the front, right?
That sounds about accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's keep.
So again, yeah, there is a door that leads into the structure here, though.
Uh-huh.
Just want to make sure that's clear.
Okay.
All right. So you'd come around, and yeah, it would basically just be a circumnavigation that leads you around to the plain wall, where you'd expect there to be a door, like to be inviting, but that's not the case in this space.
So it's just a wall.
Correct. And then, of course, the broken gate on the south side, which is where you entered in.
And this is where we busted in.
Yep.
Alright, well. Unless anyone has any other ideas for exploration, we can head in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm down.
So you'll all be stacked in the same position here, and I just realized I need to do a thing. Refreshies. And snapping. Alright, so when you enter into this space, it's not very large, quite small. In fact, there is a kind of bin on the left side that seems to be just filled with miscellaneous weaponry. All the weapons in question do have a similar styling. Swords, short swords, long swords, daggers, a couple of axes, but not many. And then there is a table that seems to be just covered with all different types of pole arms. Glaives, spears, halberds, tridents, long tridents, long spears, etc., etc. Just a bunch of different kind of pole arm weapons. There's a set of stairs on the right side that go up. The access to it is like right when you enter in, right on your right side. But underneath the stair side, there is a torch. There are torches all present through here. However, this torch is different than the ones you've seen so far. Whereas the other ones were just kind of purple lighted or like kind of white lighted torches set in sconces that you could take with you, which I believe someone did take one. This one appears to be more solidly structured, not too dissimilar from the torches that were experienced at the cenotaph. It looks like it's kind of more soundly locked into the space. And then there are a couple of boxes. Quick inspection of the boxes, you can see that they have a label in Giant, the Giant language, and reading them, you would read that they are listed as munitions. Kind of a more archaic word for the word munitions.
Are these all basic weapons? Are there any +1 weapons?
They don't appear to be magical, and the detect magic, the only thing that's glowing in the space are the walls, obviously a bit red, the floors and the ceiling, and then the torches, which are kind of also glowing with a reddish color.
And then is this stairs up?
Yep, looking up the stairs, you would see that it does look like it just leads right out into the open sky. But it looks like it's structured in such a way that it's like not a lot of light is kind of transcending into the space, and it's kind of secure. Do you want to go out, or do you wish to interact with anything present here? Do you? Sorry, quick question, Sarah. Do you shuffle through the spears?
Or is it like a pile, or are they just laid out?
It's kind of like a pile, kind of laid out, kind of a mix between both of the things you said.
I feel like she would run her hand through and see.
Go ahead
if
and make
there's
an
pretty-
investigation roll. Okay. Yeah, you don't notice it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just looks like a big pile of random, long weapons.
Might I take a look?
If you'd like to.
Why not?
Okay.
Hey.
You'll note that one of the long weapons does appear to have a head that is very similar to the blade key that you found on the other side.
I would say, Sarah, look at this one.
What is the
Pick it up
blade
and
key?
Yeah, so they
Like-
found a key, but it was short sword sized on the other side, and they picked it up, and then you just found the same thing but attached to a haft.
So we now have a blade key and a
Key staff.
spear key.
Spear key?
A key glaive.
Key glaive.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
That's not copyrighted. I'm writing that down.
Has nothing to do with the Hearts Kingdom.
Yep. Nothing at all. In fact, the short sword you found looks like it might go on to like a half. Like, the half was broken off. It was never a keyblade. It was a keyblade the whole time.
Yeah, that happens,
Yeah, that happens. I mean, there's just a misconception.
We buy it. We believe that.
Upstairs, right?
I would
Yeah.
I would take that key thing,
Okay.
Take it.
especially after Scarin pointed it out. It seems interesting.
You see where you come up.
Yep.
And when you get up there, there are a couple of barrels. There is a box that looks like it's more for sitting than anything else, but it does look like the lid can kind of come up. Yeah, it does look like this is now the first time that you've actually been up on the high wall.
Can we see into the arena from here?
No. So this wall is just a bit shorter than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones inside are 50 feet. The ones on the north side are about 40 feet. And the ones on the kind of eastern side and south side that are not directly connected, they're only about 30.
Are there any subtle signs of like someone, people, humanoids, unseen servants, like being active around here?
Not like at a glance. Yeah, there's no real role here because it just doesn't appear to be so.
Okay.
I mean, there might be a part of your mind that kind of like doubts like whether or not you're able to like detect anything, but I'm letting you know that it's even with rolls like in more scrutiny, it probably won't yield much.
Cool.
Moving on over to this space. So there does appear to be more barrels and a box. The first thought you have on the box is it's kind of low to the ground, like it might be some sort of entrance or something to that effect. But upon toying with it, you would realize that that is not the case. It does appear to just kind of be a kind of weird, just box. It's maybe about 6 inches high. It's almost like a pallet. If you're familiar with what a pallet would look like.
Tomo, can you make sure there's no illusions cast on this thing?
You can investigate it too if you want.
So looking at it, it literally looks like it's Tomo. Looking at it, I mean, it literally looks like a step, like so that if you were standing on it, you can see more clearly over the fortification wall.
That makes sense.
Tomo hops up and looks over.
You kind of gotta get up on your tippy toes to get kind of a clear line out, but you're able to kind of see out and over it. And from this position, looking out, you can see directly towards the cave wall, or the cliff wall with the cave in it, that leads to the Balanoff, the flooded snake chamber room. It's almost like this is a watch-out point for ensuring whether or not, someone's coming towards the obvious means of exit or egress to this place.
I think someone was just standing on it. It's a good standing box.
It doesn't detect.
No.
No, it's just a box.
So does that mean there's someone else here besides the Goliaths? Because they wouldn't need a box to. look over, right?
2 other people.
But one of them was a Goliath. Was this one a Goliath too?
So far, the only people that you've seen are a pair of giants, one storm, one cloud, and 2 Goliaths. The female Goliath on the south, kind of like watching with a cup of wine in her hands, and then the one at the horn.
It's true, Sarah. Goliaths are very tall. I don't imagine they would need a box to look out over the wall. Anything interesting in the barrels?
So the barrels here are filled with kind of a dark liquid. It definitely has a smell of like gasoline to it.
Oh shit!
It's
Oh.
not great smelling, but yeah, you're
Depends on how long you stand over it, because it starts to smell really great.
you're an artificer, so you can presume what these are for at these positions. It's probably the case that they would throw these out over the edge, possibly throw them with giant strength out over the edge at a target, possibly lit on fire.
Cool.
So they're pretty
Don't-
heavy, huh?
Yeah, I'd say they're probably about. They stand about 5 foot, or rather 4 foot, 3 foot, somewhere around there. So I'd say probably in the neighborhood of like 500, 600 pounds.
Shame. We could probably take it with us to that tower down there that's breathing.
You can roll the one, but yeah, the tower is 300 feet tall at the top, so you'd have
But
to
then
get
the
it.
stairs.
This is not Baldur's Gate 3.
We just
Wait,
But just put the barrel in your
yeah,
pocket.
just
yeah.
yeah,
Might as well throw some corpses in there too while you're at it.
yeah. So we could throw them later.
Yeah,
That's sick.
I've
Like
never,
me through that little. Never mind.
I've never done that. So
I
you've
won't talk
passed
about that.
you've passed by one of these barrels before down on the lower courtyard, and you're definitely noticing that there's a trend of them kind of being present in kind of random locations. What their purpose is, like again, probably defensive nature, but
Yeah.
definitely something that might help you burn the whole place down if you were wanting to adhere to certain
Yes.
audience members' wishes and dreams for everyone's games.
It's like you set it up for that.
But you would definitely have a situation here where you come around and see that there's a staircase that leads down to the little bridge that kind of heads over to the opposite side.
And again, there's nothing.
Before we get too
Of
far
interest.
ahead, I just want to make sure this is clarified. So Sarah has the key glaive. Who has the blade key? Oh. Did you-
Is
Did it go into
That
the
was-
bag of holding?
Yeah, it did go into the bag
think-
of holding.
yeah.
That's
I wrapped
correct.
it in linen and put it in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
So no one has it technically. Cool.
Technically, no one
Technically.
has it.
Great. So I just wanted to know that. You guys can continue doing what you were doing.
Tommel was told to wait. Tommel's doing a very good job of staying
He's
behind.
so good at
Told
this.
to wait.
Yeah.
No. Can we see how volatile these barrels are though? By blowing one up.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, you can.
No,
Are
I
you
was asking
gonna- are you gonna
just
ask?
asking the party.
Quiera, Quiera would basically know that this is like a very potent variant of alchemist fire. Like, it's not uncommon to her. It's not something that's unknown to her.
Cindrix, there is no need to experiment in the field. This is explosive and dangerous. It will likely ruin any element of surprise if we set off a massive explosion. Keep your tongues of fire away from it, please.
Yeah, to hit me with the facts and logic again, Kira. Why you have to do this to me?
Yeah, so for those who are curious, it basically, in kind of a larger variant like here. If it's detonated, it'll explode out 20 feet from the explosion point. It will stick to everything that it hits. It'll do, in the initial blast, 20 d4 fire damage, half as much on a DC 17 dexterity check. And then any creature who has been caught in the flame will take a d4 damage at the start of each of their turns. And it requires a DC 17 dexterity check to extinguish it as an action. And it burns indefinitely.
You just make me want one of these barrels more.
Right?
You have the barrels. I'm not saying you don't.
All right,
Sarah's
let's.
strong enough to just huck one over
Oh.
her shoulder, carry it along with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Be great. You throw Cindric's firebolt.
Guys. Yep. Boom.
Round one.
Is it? Is it not too
Surprise.
heavy for me to carry?
It's 500 pounds. What's your strength score?
Strength is 18.
Carrying capacity.
There's always wild
Oh,
shit.
like,
Well, you did say I
Oh,
could
true.
roll the one, but I was
Yeah.
worried about the stairs.
So strength score multiplied by 15. So you said 18?
Yes.
You can carry 270 pounds normally. You can be encumbered carrying more than that, which is a double amount. So you'd be encumbered carrying that, heavily so. And then push, drag, and lift are well within the bounds of reason for you to be able to do. So,
All right, we're gonna roll that barrel with us.
alright.
Yes. Try to keep
Just-
away from it.
Yeah, please do. I don't want to.
Does the adult say anything about this?
Sarah, what are you doing?
I
Um,
just thought it
one
might
lamp.
be a good idea for the breathing tower.
Does that
Sarah
point.
doesn't have a ranged weapon.
That we know of.
You plan to utilize this barrel as your ranged weapon?
Well,
I mean, why not?
Sheepishly kind of looking down at the barrel. Well.
exactly. That's exactly. Well, just listen. It just sounded like a good idea.
When Tomo
is.
said it, it didn't sound so crazy.
Are
I
you
think-
going to drink from it and spit it out?
Can you
And
do
set
that?
it on fire?
What?
Is that what you plan on using as a ranged weapon? I don't, you are very strong, Sarah, but I don't think you can just throw this barrel.
Tomo writes down a note for back at camp later.
No, I was thinking we don't know what's in the hole of that tower. Tommel did say it was breathing. We could drop it in,
Blow it
light
up.
it on fire, see what happens down there.
So I think that's an amazing
Okay,
idea.
so I'm going to jump out of character really quickly. In character, Quiura is like, not buying this.
Mortified.
Out of character, I mean, who am I to stop this from going? I think, so we'll say this, Quiura, since everyone in the group seems to be kind of pro rolling the napalm around, Quiura will kind of be trusting, and surely nothing will go wrong.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's no problem
Yeah.
with carrying a bomb right in the middle of our party. I see
How
no
about-
issues.
How about a compromise?
Can we
Okay.
find more?
Because I honestly do want it for the tower, like no joke. I worry that there's something in there, a dragon or something. When I hear breathing, I think a really big monster.
Mhm.
So what if we bring it, but leave it at like the bottom of the stairs down here?
Okay, yeah. Let's do
Okay,
that.
I guess.
Except
that-
when you have to roll a fucking dexterity check to get it down the stairs, and then we fail, and then it rolls all the way into the hole.
He said I can lift it,
Okay.
so I would just be, how you do
It's
the
just encumbered,
lift,
so
stop,
it's just
lift,
move
stop.
slower, yeah.
Okay, and then Quiura would offer the help action.
I moved
And
the
I-
barrel there.
Yes, and
and we would leave it here, and it's our, our insurance policy.
We need to like run back out and chuck it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blow up the bridge behind us type deal.
That's a good call.
You know?
Except the bridge. Oh, okay. Wait.
If we put it more on the bridge.
Out of character, John, or in character, I don't know. So, out of character, you mentioned that the stone that makes up this entire structure glows with evocation magic, right?
Yeah, so the people who have cast detect magic on it, yeah, it seems like the entirety of the space is kind of evocation magic.
So, to me, the player, that doesn't mean shit. Would that mean anything to an artificer?
Yeah, so again, it's a floating rock. Like the entirety of the space is kind of floating. So evocation can kind of lead to mentality of like, especially primal evocation, as I mentioned, kind of like a deeper red, would lead you to believe that it has to be that it deals with elemental magic.
Okay. So it's like specially formulated primal stone.
It's stone imbued with the nature of air, so
It's
that
imbued with air.
it's considered capable of flight. So yeah, you set your barrel down, and you all come down the steps. You see the stair or the little bridge before you, and you see the doors therein. To the right, there looks like there's a small balcony. It doesn't look like there are any entrances therein on said balcony, but it does look like some sort of scuffle happened, and a portion of the railing has been kind of broken out in a quite devastating fashion. It looks like there are
Where?
large streak marks. Yep, right. Snapping.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yep. It looks like there are large streak marks that have been kind of drawn across the ground, almost talon-like, and there doesn't seem to be any other signs of anything else.
Can we tell by the screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we tell by the claw marks there what type of creature it is?
So it looks
By
like
any
there were
chance?
3 talons. So there's a hard kind of line as to what it could be, and also it would require nature to kind of like denote that. So Sarah would kind of have an idea that it's either like a bird of prey or a possibly a dragon or wyvern.
Man, Zara's instincts are spot on.
Why I brought the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
You know?
bring the barrel.
Gotta ring the barrel.
Can we bottle the stuff up too?
If it's
We
a,
ain't got time for
like-
that.
if it's a red dragon, then the barrel might be a bad choice, but
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
or a blue dragon. Both could,
and horribly.
yeah.
I feel like most dragons would be a problem.
Well, no, it's just the sparking of the barrel that you have. Like, it would be doubly problematic than, just like acid breathing you or something. Lightning or fire
Actually.
will ignite. Anyway, so, Queera, after you kind of inspect that, you kind of move back towards the bridge. Sorry, what were you going to say, Johnny?
Oh no, I was saying Tom will had something.
Oh,
The same.
Tommel. What was Zach, what'd you got?
You asked the same
What's that?
question I was going to.
Oh, okay.
That's why I let you ask.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But Queera, it looks like you're heading across the bridge. Is that fair?
I guess it is. I guess that's what I'm doing.
Okay, go ahead and roll up a new character for it. No.
wait!
Joking.
No, we gotta blow up the barrel before you do that.
Joking.
Yeah.
Queer's taking
Yeah,
you all
exactly.
with her.
As you walk onto
Oh,
the
no.
bridge, a large kind of purplish colored flame appears in front of you, right in front of this
Boy.
door. A massive flame. It starts to glow white instead, and as it turns white, it starts to gust out wind kind of towards you and towards the others. You then watch as what appears to be a humanoid figure, but much taller than you, and much taller than your group, kind of steps out of the space. And as it does, you can hear the rattling of chains. The entity in question is covered with them. For some reason, it's not letting me do the GM reveal, so I'm trying to drag What is happening, guys?
Is it a ghost?
Oh, roll 20.
You. Wow, that is cool, but how do I put the fucking monster on my. Okay, hold on. They did a new thing, and I'm confused.
The anticipation to see this creature.
I know.
The
We're all kind of
suspense.
like peeing a little bit.
Okay, what?
Wait.
What could this humanoid be?
Okay, I just need to be able to do something here. Hold on. Let me see if I can do anything with this, or I'm gonna. They added a new feature, so like when you bring out a compendium reference, you can press a little down arrow that lets you see the character sheet for the monster in the chat window, which is
Ooh.
cool.
Ooh.
But how do I put this monster on the screen? Okay, did that just drop a not the creature that I wanted? Let's see if it
Nothing
pops.
happened.
Nothing
Hold on.
happened.
It gave me the sheet. That means it's on there.
Ugh.
Yeah, there. It's,
Oh, that thing? Oh my.
That's not what we want.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's not what we
Johnny, you
want.
got very excited for that thing.
Okay,
It looked- yeah,
Oh.
it's-
My
So-
trypophobia does not like that.
I'm gonna go through and
Ugh.
find it in the list of all monsters. I'm gonna delete that guy.
Thank God.
We already
darn.
dealt with the thing that makes those in this campaign.
Yeah.
That was an aboleth spawn.
It was pretty cool looking.
It made my ear itch.
I am so sorry. I can only apologize. That's all I know how to do. Huzzah! If you are trained in religion, you would recognize it immediately. It is a chain
Yep.
devil.
Oh,
Ooh.
can I? Once I see that, can I hold my action for chromatic warding just in case?
Yeah, certainly. It steps out.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't familiar with it, I'm trying to also do a thing that's not working. We're having a lot of fun here, folks. We do like the new changes for Roll20. Do not get me wrong, Roll20. If you ever hear this, like I'm not talking shit. I like the
Please
changes.
please don't cancel my subscription.
I mean, that too. We are in wind, add handout. Gotta do all of it manual, which is fine as long as I don't accidentally load the wrong picture. That'd be funny. Chain Devil. So, he is a larger man, or humanoid creature, that is kind of covered in chains on most of his body. His skin underneath is kind of a reddish hue. You can hardly see his face because his mouth and kind of head are wrapped with chains. And the chains kind of move and sprout about him, each kind of seemingly moving with its own kind of snake-like motions. As he appears, he would raise his hand up to you, and in giant... hold on, this music is not fitting. Cue it off for the time being. He would say to you, as he appears, he raises his hand, kind of trying to kind of bar you from entry. Wait, no, where'd he go?
He changed it.
I'm having a great time. Alright, there he is. Maybe? Okay, yeah. He raises his hand, and in giant, he says, "None may enter into the heart." And that's all he says in giant. If you understand giant, you understand what he said. None may enter into the heart.
Just Gil speaks giant, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Does anybody speak Infernal?
Hold on, give me 10 minutes. Tom will start casting a ritual.
You know what? No. He just speaks common. Forget it.
Gil is
yeah.
interpreting.
Translates.
Yeah.
It's a flawless translation. Perfect. No problems. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect,
Gil
perfect.
is very good at interpreting into giant.
Yeah. God, so many things.
I feel like Gil would be like, but why not? like right back to him. Like, but why not?
Yeah, but we're not going to get Magpie's character killed. So,
Kind of
True.
keeps his hand up, and none shall pass into the heart.
Kuriura will nudge Gil. Shut up. We don't have a high charisma character, right?
I have +1.
My Christmas 10.
Mine's 11.
We don't have a charisma character.
Mine's 10.
No.
It is not a thing that we've ever invested in this
God
game.
damn it.
Not this game.
Not
Couple of
even
games
Gil?
ago.
Oh, wait. Gil has a +2.
That's not very good, but okay.
And Gil speaks giant. This is meant
That's
to be
more than anyone else in this party, Jonathan.
Fair enough. I mean, if you want to roleplay them, roleplay them.
No, I don't. So, okay.
I also don't want to roleplay with myself. I understand. More than fair.
None may enter the heart. That's what he said?
None may pass to enter the heart.
None may pass to enter the heart.
Obviously, we have to have the Python reference. None shall pass.
That's
Tommel, and Scarin, go ahead and make perception checks.
Nice.
All right.
Not as
Scarin, as he is saying that, you kind of see his hand kind of move up. You can see that his other hand is kind of close to the chest, almost like he was like a maitre d' or like a butler or something, kind of like holding it up like with intent. And you can see that there are 3 chains that descend down from his arm. Each one of them has a massive padlock at the end instead of a barb or hook or blade. He's kind of holding it up, and they kind of just slowly kind of dwindle beneath his arm. Each one like just being this massive kind of padlock. Very archaic looking padlocks, but padlocks nonetheless.
hurt when it hits.
Well, if you see there, he's got padlocks instead of. See who's holding those?
And
Just
we
on
We
have
have keys,
3 of the chains, yeah, and with
but we only
padlocks.
have 2 keys.
Okay.
For
Oh.
one more.
Um,
An assumption.
does Scarin say that out loud?
Yeah, that was. Was I not talking that whole time?
Yeah,
you were.
yeah. But I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
was
okay.
that was
Yes,
that was the
yeah.
character?
That was
That was the
Scarin's
character.
voice, yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
Koyura will throw her hands up and move backwards. Okay, none shall pass. I understand.
Yeah. You're moving away. If everybody also does likewise, the flame will kind of appear again and envelop the Kaiton. And he will return back to his near-dimensional space.
So we've got padlocks, we've got keys. There's one more key. Maybe we can find it and avoid getting shredded by that devil.
Or we could just go for it. Oh god. We lost Johnny.
oh,
I don't know. I feel like I trust everyone's ability in combat. If we wanted to just barrel through, I don't doubt we could take out a single devil.
Sarah, go ahead and make a perception check.
we still need to find another key. Anyway, we could look around a little bit more.
just concerned it's in there. Almo points to where the giants are.
Hmm.
Sarah only cares about this barrel, so she
Almost
don't
it-
see nothing.
Almost if in time, the ground shakes from what you presume is another knockdown.
And Tommel winces.
But yeah, looking at the keys that you have, I mean, pretty obviously with the glaive, they do look like they're sized for the padlocks that this entity has on his arms that he's presenting.
So, Shisho, can I ask you, what are you thinking with these keys and that guy? Because it sounded like you were thinking that we could avoid a fight
Hold
by
on.
having the keys.
Hold on a second. I'm going to propose a solution that'll allow Johnny to possibly continue with us if you all are game. I'm going to kill my audio here in Zoom, and I'm going to jump into Discord voice. And then we'll see if we can't get him to join it as well. Is that working for everybody?
I love Discord voice.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Whoa. What I miss?
Nothing yet.
As soon as I jumped in, John said, "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Oh, no. He likes Discord voice.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Just
Okay.
not want to work for me.
Don't worry about it. It's not the only time I've had problems with the Zoom voice issue, and also like just Zoom being a kind of tyrant. It's happened to our Sunday game. It's happened to our Friday game. Totally fine. Don't worry about it. But if you're able to continue, you just won't be able to see my pretty face and sometimes Zach's pretty face. And so I'm the only one who's actually showing my vase on the Zoom call anyway. Why do we even have it? Turkeys.
I had it on, then Zoom just
I'm just
put it
shocked.
off for me.
I'm just being a butt. Yeah, the chitin
As
will
usual.
it's a dungeon master's job. But the chitin will vanish in the flame as you back away again. And again, making sure we understand the keys that you have, the blade keys, appear to be sized for the keys. Oh God, I mentioned that he's guarding the heart. Ah!
It's
Just gonna go ahead and throw this whole module out. This whole section of it.
Oopsie.
I love it. That's one of my favorite games. I appreciate it, John.
Fair. The step away. It definitely does look like as you kind of make your way back, there isn't really any way for you to easily get back to the courtyard without going back the way you came.
Mhm.
Do you want to go ahead and do that?
What's
We were,
the drop from here to here?
About 40 feet. 35, 40 feet.
That's a drop.
That is a big drop.
Yeah, it's 50 feet high on the walls on the inside. It's 40 feet on the wall to the north. And then it's 30 feet for the other walls kind of down to the south.
Walking doesn't hurt. Right?
Yeah, and again, we don't have to move through everything again. You can just lower your miniatures down to where you want to be. And we'll just say you went the long route of it. No problem. I'm not trying to overcomplicate anything. I'm just trying to make sure we understand what's happening.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
Back the way we came.
Yeah.
So you wind up down there. And again, there's the big doors there. There's the passageway that you've been in before. And let me just make sure we don't have any misconceptions about space here. Just double checking my own notes. Yep. So there's the door on the eastern side that goes into that passageway, which does have a tower top that you can go to, but it does not have any doors that lead out onto the walls. Double checking my notes again.
This one.
Yeah, that's right. Double checking. Yeah, it does have a door that goes out onto the wall. You've been on it before. You've been on this wall before.
This wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only place we haven't been is
Like-
in there.
You're right.
Yeah, I think so.
And there were
on
no
most of
doors
these
into
walls.
this.
Double
Only the big
checking
ones.
my notes. For the center, there was a door on that side, actually.
On the wall?
On the tower that connects with the center space, yeah.
So, okay. So that is something that's been unexplored. I would like to check that out before we move forward. So, like, we would have to go in.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and just zip you through. So you
Okay.
go back into the tower at ground level, go up the stairs, past all of the weaponry and you already put the scrolls in your bag. Then once on the second floor, you go underneath the stairs that go up to the tower top and come back out onto the wall, move down, and enter into the door that you passed by. And I'll put everybody onto that map here. Just gonna stack them again. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And this is another lookout box and napalm.
The boxes don't have napalm. The barrels do.
Oh right, I mean this is another one of those lookout boxes
Yeah.
where it's just one of those short and napalm.
That's right. So inside of this tower space, you would see that you kind of enter in. There is a staircase that goes up. There's a staircase that goes down. There does appear to be, similar to all of the other spaces you've been in so far, a severe kind of like grouping of weaponry. It looks like this is a training area as well, in that it has a number of targets that are kind of littered with arrows, some of them fresher, some of them not. There's also a wall that has a plethora of arrows kind of just hanging up on it like a rack. It's almost like it just looks like it's kind of a crate of arrows and it's been set on its side. And then there are a number of bows. All of these are similar to the bows you saw in the other chamber, the ground level, except one of them is a shorter bow. A short bow. The bags in this space, when you check them, are filled with soft cotton, like to the brim, and don't have much weight to them. But they definitely do have a kind of strange pliability in that, like, when you kind of push soft cotton, normally it'll kind of stay in the form you push it into and then slowly start to kind of spread back into its normal shape. Whereas this, when you kind of push the bags, it'll very quickly kind of reform to its, it's like memory foam, almost.
Do any of the arrowheads look like keys?
So all the arrows in here look like they're usable, and if Detect Magic is up, the arrows here are also magical. They're not as magical as the arrows you found in the other place, the psychic arrows, but it does appear that these are magical ammunition. Very keen observer like Tommel would be able to tell that they are +1 arrows.
Oh, yeah.
There's about 20.
Might as well grab those for Gil.
There's about 20
Yeah.
of them.
Okay, let me make a note of that.
Yep. And then at the bottom of the steps that go up, wait, no, sorry. At the top of the steps that go down, kind of like over the area where you kind of like the hole, this section kind of here, there is a box, and on top of that box is a sheet of paper that has writing on it. The writing in question is giant-ish, but it's not giant common language. Instead, it appears to be giant sheet music.
That's fun. That's whimsical.
And since
Aw.
Gil is not proficient with
How dare you?
any of the musical instruments,
How
Um,
dare you?
he is unable to kind of understand it because
I
again
take it back. That's not whimsical. I don't like it
I don't
now.
like it anymore. It's not fun. But what you'd be able to denote is that it does appear that it is some sort of sheet music. But yeah, staircase that goes up. Underneath it, there's another box. It doesn't have anything on it. The boxes have, it says munitions on the side again.
Gil, excuse me, will stash the sheet music.
Okay. Sounds like what he would do.
We're gonna open up the other munitions box.
Oh, you didn't open the last one, so
Oh yeah.
you want to open this one though?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Tommels. Okay. Cool. Tommels not.
Okay. So inside there are small, kind of dark metal balls inside that appear to have a string fuse on them. They're very archaic and old. Like they look like old timey like bombs, like the Legend of Zelda bombs. And there's 20 in the box.
Just 20 bombs.
20 bombs
How
in the
heavy
box.
how heavy are they each?
Great question that I'm about to answer momentarily. About a pound apiece. And simple
I think
metric
it'll-
on the use of bombs, it can be thrown up to 60 feet away. When it hits, like you can light and throw it in one action, and up to 60 feet away. Each creature within 5 feet of the hit point, DC 12 dexterity saving throw. On a failure, 3d6 fire damage, no halves.
I would be okay with kind of giving these out so that everyone can have a couple, unless someone just straight up don't want them.
I preferably not.
As,
I tend to.
as you've opened up the case and are kind of talking amongst yourselves, there's a presence that kind of moves past you. It almost kind of pushes you out of the way a bit, Quira, and shuts the lid of the case.
How dare you, you unseen servant! God damn it.
What? That's so rude.
Okay, so you said there's 20. Cindrix doesn't want one. So we can do 4 apiece for the rest.
Yeah, it's fine.
What happens? Does the unseen servant react in any way as we
It
are
only
kind of taking?
it only
out
seemed to
and-
shut it when like it was left
Oh.
open and nothing was happening. As you're kind of
Okay.
removing bombs from it, it doesn't seem to be as miffed.
It was like the auto shut. Auto.
Hmm.
Okay. That's fine. Fine.
I'm sorry, John. Did you say they are 10 pounds?
1 pound apiece.
1 pound apiece. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're not like massive like the Legend of Zelda bombs. I guess that was probably about it. It's more like kind of the size of an apple.
No, just my dog walked in when you were describing it.
Gotcha.
He had my attention.
You just started talking your ear off, and you were like, "Oh gosh, okay, great, fine. I'm in the middle of a game." And
No, he's just staring at me, and it's just like, what?
He needs your love.
Yeah. Wants
Good.
attention.
Could be worse. Could be printing.
Could be printed.
Or better.
I would be
Yeah.
impressed if he was printing, honestly.
Fair.
Just a busy cat.
Up the stairs. Yeah. Up the stairs or down the stairs?
I'm gonna go down first.
Yeah, let's go down.
Yeah. Go down.
All right. 1 second here. I'm just gonna put you guys in a little formation here, and then that'll allow me to easily kind of steal you all here, so I don't have to copy your tokens every time we move, or drag and drop your tokens every time we move. Bam. And so we've been on this floor before, but in a different section. But As you come down the steps, you would see that this space appears to be some sort of larder um, or kitchen or prep area for food. The smell that's immediately kind of just caught in your nostrils is brine. It definitely has a very kind of pickled smell to the space. You see what appears to be a box filled with different parts of animals, mostly birds. It looks like a very large kind of reptilian kind of limb out on the table with parts kind of shaved off of it on a plate to the left of that. There's a massive washing bin that looks like it has eggs in it. Um, or dishes. You're not sure which. Um, they look kind of distorted by the fluid, which is kind of like a greenish coloration. But after you kind of look around, you would see that there are definitely plates, as there's one seated on a box near the reptile limb. The main feature or draw of this place that would be interesting to you is this massive kind of metal cauldron um, on the kind of more of a like barrel, really. The top has been popped off of it. It does look like there's a ladle kind of out of the top and a spigot on the bottom of it. Whereas these other barrels look like they haven't been properly tapped. This one looks like it has. And a door. Also a door. I will move the door so that you can see the door more better. But
What do
yeah,
you want?
Are any of the limbs key shaped? Is there like a?
they are not. But what you'll notice is they don't look like they're old either. They look like this is all fresh.
Cool. Doesn't seem problematic.
Did we talk about what's in these boxes? Is it pickles?
So in the boxes, yeah, it's mostly just going to be jars filled with pickles, pickled things. Looks like all sorts of different pickled vegetables, um, and yeah, definitely looks like there are bags of fresh um, vegetables, cucumbers, like olives, stuff like that. Um, kind of inside of the bags. They look fresh and they look like they were just delivered.
The fuck? Okay. I would like Gil to kind of very carefully
I would like to use Gil as a guinea pig.
try to open this door
Okay.
like gently and stealthily.
Roll a d20 just as a group. Pick one person to be your representative and have them roll a d20.
Oh god, not it. Johnny, make Johnny do it. Johnny, are you back?
Johnny's
I'll
around.
do it. I'll do it.
Kimmy's more
Okay.
down.
Oh, I'm here. I was just muted. Sorry. I said I would do it.
Oh, okay. Good.
Roll it.
Oh no, you can do it. You can. Oh,
No, no, it's you, Johnny.
all right.
All right.
3.
So
Johnny, you're fired.
as you
Wait, it could be good. It could be good.
open the door, Gil would open it and see that it kind of leads out into a hallway. Just across this narrow hallway is another door, and there's kind of glowing purple white light kind of throughout the space. But as he's kind of peeking his head out, he hears a voice yell out to him in giant, "Hey, who goes there?" To the north of him. So,
Do I
shuffling.
not get to be slight,
Stealthy?
stealthy?
You said you wanted to peek out the door. I mean, that's fine. You can roll a stealth check.
Well, I said stealthily.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
Yeah, that's great.
are still going to see the door in the middle of the hallway kind of pop open. It was a disadvantage, anyways. So they still say the thing they said. Where is Gil? Did
He's
I?
right there.
Where are all these tokens?
He's right here.
I only got 4 tokens.
I don't see.
We're missing Scarin.
Yeah, missing
I see
the bird
Scarin.
boy.
Wow.
I
I've
see
got
Bird
Scarin.
Boy.
I've got Sarah.
I don't-
I've got Syndrix. I don't have
I mean-
Queera. I don't
I mean-
have.
Are we in? Are we in on like the wrong space?
Yeah, you are in a different space
Oh.
than the rest of us.
Wait,
what
what?
it looks like.
Oh yeah. What?
We're missing
This
Gil and
spook-
Quiara
Where's Gil and Queera?
in this tower.
Oh, they're on the
Oh,
other side of the
another-
map. This is fun. I love this game. Okay. This game's great. And then delete.
Okay.
Alright, that's snap.
Okay, so this entire time, I thought we were on that other map.
So sorry.
Yeah,
So as Gil pops out like that, you can kind of see the giant warrior, kind of Goliath warrior rather, kind of yelling down the road.
Ooh.
It was going to be a very hard DC to kind of, because the doors open inward, and like you kind of have to come out and around to see anything, unless you're opening the whole last door, which is going to be very noticeable as well. That makes sense.
God damn it. God damn it.
So, guy says, "Hey, who goes there?" What is Gil's response?
Who goes there?
Ghost where?
Just a-
How could someone pretend to be an unseen servant?
well,
Let me
since,
think.
since
Hold
he
on.
was
Hold
seen,
on.
that's gonna be tough.
He was seen.
Well, no, he could just act like he's a guard. Just be like, well, what?
First,
Who goes
Oh,
there, huh?
okay.
first
So,
metric: be
Gil-
unseen.
Gil will say, just delivering some more pickles. I'm on my way out.
Okay. So they would approach pretty quickly, kind of in a hustle. Does Gil close the
Yeah,
door or no?
Yeah. He'll, well, he'll back up.
Okay. So as I mentioned, the doors in here open inward.
Do I get
close it.
to? Do I get to roll for deception?
No,
I hate you.
Not a
Okay.
chance.
not at all.
Uh,
If
Yeah,
you-
he
if
believes
you
you
had-
all the way.
If you had said anything else, maybe. Well, there's
he's
some things that
delivering pickles. Okay.
But
Never
the,
mind.
it's
we should have said vanishes.
it's fine. It's fine. Just the thing you said is would draw more suspicion. So they approach.
He's the one who does the pickles.
Oh no, he's still got his stuff on Zoom on. I gotta exit the audio. That's the first time he's talked since then.
I accidentally. Yeah. Whoops.
Okay, no worries.
I forgot we weren't in Zoom, so I unmuted it.
Oh my god. And you, wait. But you were muted in Discord too, so that means you unmuted both. And then talked.
Maybe. Maybe.
I love that so much. In fact, I love it so much you can have inspiration. That is so quintessentially John. So he approaches. As he's doing so, you see him brandish a weapon, which appears to be a pretty heavy-sized axe. So Gil was closing the door, you said, right? And like I said, the doors push in. So if you're closing them, they'll be pushing against the people on the other side, which means you'll be able to bar the door, kind of hold it shut, if that is your wish.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to do anything different? Okay. So
Rhinoceros.
Yeah, we could try to
What,
talk to him.
really?
I mean,
No,
I
no,
just
no.
like out of character. I just don't see any real reason for us to be in here. That's like,
Pickle delivery.
you know, like there is no reason for us to be in here. That's like a good reason. Right?
Well, here we are.
Nope.
So, who is trying to
Yep.
hold the door closed for this
By
instance?
Sarah. I'd hope.
Well, as soon as I feel like Gil would slam that door shut, I assume Gil would say like they're coming. I would go and press myself against the door.
Is it one door or is it a double door?
It's a
one
double door.
right?
Yeah,
Maybe
but
we should have it.
they kind of on the back end, like you have to open both of them. You can't just open one because of the way they open. It's got like those cabinets, like or like annoying doors that have to be opened both at the same time. So you'll be making one athletics check, Sarah, and you have advantage because you're being aided. John, we're getting background noise.
Bad luck today.
Okay. So as you're kind of trying to hold the door closed, you're pushed back. They beat you by quite a bit, so I'm going to have both of you make dexterity saving throws as you're pushed back in this slightly not dry space. So Jijo, you're just pushed, or Queer is just pushed back, a bit. And Sarah, you are thrown down to the ground as the doors are pushed open. They enter into the space looking confused, and they're brandishing axes, but they're not immediately swinging. And one of them yells out to you, like in a commanding fashion, in the language of giants, something which Gil would know. It says, "Drop your weapons. You're not supposed to be here." Gil would probably say, "Oh, yep."
What did he say?
Gil would say, "He said, drop our weapons. We're not supposed to be here."
What if we are supposed to be here?
And the one that's standing over Sarah's kind of axe blade kind of pointed down at you, trying to keep you down on the ground.
Oh,
Man, really wish I had a barrel of napalm right about now.
Right?
You got a pocket full of bombs. Go nuts.
yeah.
Should we say we come in peace?
Gil translates that.
Okay. They then repeat what they just said angrily, and the one who's got the axe kind of pointed at Sarah kind of tilts back like he's preparing to strike. They say, "Drop your weapons. You're not supposed to be here." Sarah, you're on the ground. You probably have your weapon, like, in your hands. Queera, your weapons are not super identifiable. I'm assuming Gil, probably hasn't drawn his weapons yet.
No.
Tommel's got a stick. And
Aaron,
No,
Aaron has-
Tomo has his newly attuned tentacle rod from the last short rest. Tomo has a tentacle rod, baby.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily look. Does it look like a weapon?
It looks like it needs to be dropped.
Put that away. Disgusting. Put that away.
Alright. I'm throwing
Bad
my
buddy.
blade down.
Okay.
I'll throw it down.
He kind of holds his axe to the side and reaches down with his hand in like a powerful grasp to kind of help you up.
Aww.
Aw, see? Everything has to end in a fight.
Do you accept it, Sarah?
I do.
Okay. As he pulls you up and you kind of shift to kind of like grab a hold of his hand with both hands and lift yourself up. Once he has you up, you see him kind of let go of your hand, like once you're standing, and kind of grasp your wrist, kind of pulling both your hands in quickly. And then the other guy steps forward with what appears to be a wand, kind of taps where your wrists are, and that psychic energy that made up the arrows in the other chamber forms manacles around your wrists. You are bound by manacles, magical manacles.
Whoopsie.
Uh-oh.
Once the wand kind of taps and binds Sarah, the guy kind of looks to Quira, and they both kind of move towards you. And he says, "As you said, peacefully in giant." And Gil says, "The same." Translates. Do you allow him to tap your wrists and create the manacles around your wrists, or no?
Yes, I do.
Ping. And I'm assuming with that, everyone else will probably follow suit.
At this point, we might as well.
Me.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Ping, ping, ping. Basically, walking around with the wand, pinging.
I mean, you can choose to run, right?
Sure, can we? Yeah, do we?
No, I
Well,
got
we
an
can't
idea.
leave you. Yeah, we can't leave you
So,
time,
like,
though.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's a
don't.
great opportunity to split the party. You could like go and
Just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
No, Tom was gonna let him get shackled. God damn it.
Ping, ping, ping.
Damn it.
Once you're shackled, the one with the axe will kind of put the axe back onto a ring on his belt and kind of like cross his arms. We'll have, and it says in giant, "We'll have to take you before the lady. She will decide what to do with you." And the one with the wand kind of walks out the door, and as he does so, you see him kind of flick the wand like around the corner, and you feel like you're being drawn, but not like super forcibly, just kind of like pulled along in the direction following him, almost as if you're bound to him by the wand he carries, the shackles that you have. And he walks into the hallway and heads south. As he's doing so, you are following, so you can go ahead and head into that little hallway there. It's a bit narrow, but as you're kind of passing by, you would see that you're walking past what appears to be a small table with a couple mugs on it. The guy with the wand kind of looks at the cup almost longingly as he passes by it, and he moves to this corner area here, opens up a cell door, and then gestures with the wand, kind of shifting you to kind of move into that space. And you're all put inside of this small little alcove here, which is, in fact, a small little prison.
well, that's convenient.
The one with the wand will remain, and the other one says in giant to the other one as the wand one locks the door and kind of seals you inside of this little cage here. He says, "I will return with the lady, and she will know what to do with you." And then he heads this way, opening this double doors, which leads into what appears to be, from your sight line, a kind of large open room with very ornate looking chairs around a very kind of meager looking wooden table. At one far end of this room, you can see that there's a book, parchment, and a quill. And it definitely looks like this space might lead up into the kind of main fortification on the southern side of the structure. He goes inside and kind of takes a left turn and disappears. Once the guy with the wand has got you all sealed, you see him kind of holster the wand and walk over to the cup, pick it up, raise it to his mouth, and kind of take a sip of whatever it is, just kind of watching you. And then he takes out a quill off the table there and writes something in this book. So, this is the first time I've locked a full party up in one swoop. I'm actually having a great time, but there's definitely some time for you to kind of rethink your lives, like decide what you're wanting to do here in this space. However you want to proceed, but there'll be a little time here where I'm just going to leave it for you to talk amongst yourselves.
Do we just really let that happen?
Cindric's
You're
asked
the
that
one who wanted us to be in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. In peace.
Just
Peacefully.
when I tried one time when I don't want bloodshed, this is what happens, huh? Damn it.
There's a lesson to be learned here. Not sure what it is.
Don't let giants help you up.
Well, we came into this space uninvited. Up, clearly there is some group that has taken up their that is residing here. Let's see if we can't use our wits to get out of whatever comes next. Maybe the bloodshed will be avoidable after all.
Always dispel these, can't we?
What's that?
Can we dispel these?
You can't perform somatic components like in a very easily way because you're bound. Like
It is somatic.
yeah, you have wiggling fingers. I mean, you could try
Still
it.
mind whip though.
You could try it if you want to dispel them. Excuse me. You could try it. I would allow you to try it, but you'd have to make a.
Tommel's gonna see Skirin trying to like cast something and like slap his hands and be like, sorry, guard, excuse me. There's a little bit of dirt on my leg. I just want to clean it off. Is that okay?
He walks over and looks at you. Are you making gestures to kind of try and tell him what you're saying?
Yeah, just prestidigitation. Sorry.
He nods his head.
Gil,
And
Okay.
Tommel's gonna use try and cast prestidigitation with the manacles and try and like figure out subtly like if
So you-
I can do that.
Yeah, you figure out the rules. Dexterity check. Go ahead and make one. Prestidigitation is a cantrip, so it'll be a DC 10. Yeah, it's not.
Ooh.
It's actually not a save, but if your dexterity.
Oh, sorry.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Just a standard
I
dexterity
don't have
check.
a bonus to it, so.
Yep, perfect. You would know that it's not terribly hard for you, being a bit more dexterous, but the owl
Right.
might be a little bit more. It might be a little bit more difficult for him, depending on his dexterity. And you would know that if you messed it up just a little bit, it would probably cause a spell with a slot to fizzle.
To burn, yeah.
Because you're still pulling the energy.
Yep.
You're just not doing it right.
I just wanted to do it that way.
Yep. He'll
So the
nod.
guard didn't see us casting it. Thank
He'll
you. Sorry.
Nod and kind of walk away. As you're kind of looking down the hallway that he's walking towards, you see that there's a floating carafe just kind of like flying towards him. He takes it and then bows his head and says in giant, "Thank you," and takes the carafe, kind of sets it next to his cups, pours himself what appears to be kind of like a hot-ish looking fluid, kind of a darker color, kind of has a bit of steam kind of rising off the top of it once he's poured the entirety of what he wants into the glass, and then kind of takes that, kind of sips it very cautiously. Nothing else? We cast a dispel magic?
Did he just speak common?
They do not speak common.
Okay.
So far, the only language that you know for certain that they speak is giant.
I mean, I'll lean in. Like I said, I can always try to wild shape out of this. Question mark. Well, maybe we want to wait until we talk to the lady, huh?
Have
Go
Just
in
testing
our favor.
options.
Yeah.
I think if you want to try something, you should probably try it now. I recommend that you can probably try it on you can try it on Gil. Gil has a good skill at hiding. Perhaps he can hide the fact that he's been released if you're able to dispel his manacles.
Here, turn. Yeah, Gil, turn towards me. Back to me.
He does.
And then he'll try to dispel it.
Okay.
Does
Go ahead and make a dexterity check. Guidance won't help.
guidance count?
Won't help.
It won't? Okay.
Yeah, it would. It's an ability check. Yeah, sure.
Doesn't he have to?
You have to cast guidance,
Yeah.
so you'd need to make a dexterity check to see if you can cast guidance.
Oh, it's verbal and... Oh, somatic. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
So go ahead and roll yours.
Okay. So what is it?
DC 10.
Just a straight
Dexterity check.
dexterity check. Okay, let me go.
Okay. You cast guidance without a hitch, and then it goes to Scarin. And you
Let's go.
cast Dispel Magic without a hitch. So go ahead and throw up the description for Dispel Magic for me.
Yep.
For each spell, it would do all spells on a single creature, object, or magical effect within range. We'll go ahead and say magical effect within range because it's all the same. And yeah, it'll pierce through. You will remove the bindings. It doesn't seem like the click of it, the kind of just sudden of the binding disappearing, causes the man who's kind of drinking his coffee to really notice. It doesn't seem to kind of engage with you at all. So you are unbound, and as yet, the woman has not made her way to you yet.
Tommel's gonna try and like step in front of Gil, so Gil can hold hands like they're still manacled, and Tommel, like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Behind
And everybody
Tommel's
back up to a wall.
Yeah, maybe Gil and Sar should change.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas as to hiding your hands?
Well, he'll definitely. Oh, he'll.
I don't have minor illusion, or else I would do minor illusion to reappear the manacles. I don't know if either of you do.
Let me see. Um. Yeah, I would say he would just kind of scrunch himself up in the corner
Okay.
and kind of face away from the wall.
Yeah. Anybody else with any kind of thoughts and processes for what you're doing? That's all?
Other than questioning my life choices, no.
Yeah, I mean, here we are, right?
For now, not much.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you kind of take your positions, kind of hiding yourself and the like, just for static purposes, everybody go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. Because, again, we are kind of... And you have advantage, because no one would expect you to be able to get rid of it. So go ahead and make that check, and then just tell me if anybody rolls under a 10 with advantage. And I think that should be more than fair. And then...
Oops. Not bad.
What?
It was being real slow. I didn't realize I clicked it, so it came up twice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
first-
My first
your first
one
one
was
works,
for
it's
Gil.
fine.
My first one was for Gil. The second
Mm.
one was for Quiura. And then Tommel, for you, the first one you dropped is the 15,
Yeah.
according to what I can see.
That's what I see too. It
Okay.
didn't load.
Okay. So the deception seems to be on. Everyone kind of sits there quietly for the next 10 or 15 so minutes, and then eventually the two that you were expecting, the one that left and this new one, kind of walk up towards the gate. The woman in question does have like features strikingly similar to Sarah. Her hair seems to have been kind of shaved off of one side of her head. She has tattoos that are very much in kind with what you'd expect a Goliath to have. They have kind of ornamentary designs that anybody trained in history would know are basically tribal markings for their families that they gain at basically when they come to be an adult. They have these tattoos done over the course of their first year as an adult. Kind of a rite of passage. The woman in question has very piercing, glowing yellow eyes that kind of stare over all of you as she kind of steps into the space. You can see that she has a holy symbol on her chest, which, for the religion trained, you're not able to immediately kind of catch what the deity is. The more you look at it, you realize it's not one that you're familiar with. But the history trained people recognize the symbol being very much in line with the mentality of the Stormbird, which was kind of the people from before the Ordris folk, the Vazriel people from Parnak. When they came over, they worshipped their own deity, and that deity, as with most Vazriel peoples, is an actual thing that existed. So it's this massive storm bird. She looks at you all, and then in common says, "What are you doing here, and how did you even get up here? I know you didn't make the climb." That points exactly at Tommel. That one wouldn't have been able to make it.
I'm surprisingly capable.
It's not about capable. What do you weigh? 30, 40 pounds?
Yep, light enough to be flown by that one. Points at the flying one.
Ah,
Yeah, we usually do uppies and
one with hollow bones as well. Yes, the two of you would have been blown right off the face of the climb. There's no way you
Over
would
here,
have been able to
over
survive.
Did you notice the Neoji outside earlier?
I do not know this word.
Sorry, Neoji. They're like,
crab spiders.
yeah, that's a good way to describe crab spiders.
Spider eel-necked giraffes.
I have a very important endeavor that I'm here engaging in, and have been so for the last 6 months. So I can't say I was paying attention to Neoja or whatever.
The Neoji.
I'm fairly certain if you look right out the front door, you'll see 3 corpses of Neoji.
Yeah,
They-
we killed them.
What do you mean front
So-
door?
Well,
to give you a little bit more context, the Neoji are multiplanar slavers.
I think we got
And-
off on a bad start, she says, just interjecting right in the middle of your description. I really don't care about what you're talking about. I do care about who you are and how you made it up here. So, whatever
I'm Tumble.
conflicts-
We jumped.
Jumped.
Yeah, we jumped. Yeah, no, he's not wrong.
Super jump.
Jumped.
We could
From-
show you if you let us out.
From where?
Out front. Place where the corpses are. You're not following. This is very simple. If you just let me continue talking, I would have explained that.
Fair enough. Then I'll have you take me to where you jumped. And then in Giant says, "Warden, pull them." He reaches for his wand, looks at it, goes, "Curious," in Giant. It seems that the shackle are off, milady, he says in Giant. She kind of looks at you all.
Yes, it's.
Came in peace.
Yes,
So can we start a petition to just, out of sheer role play, give like I just feel like Tomo should have a higher charisma score because that is really adorable. Thank you.
I
And
can't. I
charming.
cannot immediately raise all of Zach's character's charisma just because Zach is adorable. I can't do that.
I mean,
it's not fair.
Shan't maybe.
I just
How do you have
cannot.
such willpower?
I cannot do it. She would cross her arms, kind of looking at you. Her eyes would start flaring with lightning, and she would say, "You are very interesting to me. However, I do not know you, so obviously there is much I have to be frightened of, especially if you are able to unbind the shackles of In. So, I will let you out to show me what you speak of after I rise a contingent to aid me."
That's fun. I mean, we did
Sure.
willingly get into this very cramped cell. That's all I will input on that.
And so far as to say,
Yeah.
I understand the desire to be free and that being taken from you. We will do what you need to do quickly. She gestures to the other Goliath that kind of led her over to here, says something in Goliath, or in Giant. He rushes off. He comes back with 4 more individuals. And then the warden kind of sets his cup down, has put the wand away since, walks over with the key and unlocks it, opening it. The guards in question kind of, look to you and kind of gesture for you to come with them into the really cool hall that you saw along the way. And she walks that way with purpose, just a very dominant stride, and then moves her hand inside of the space when you get over to here. And the wall just kind of moves astride, and the chairs and everything kind of move astride with it. And this opens out to that flat wall where you thought a door should be, allowing you access right out to the portcullis. And she and you kind of move through this space. As she's kind of looking through the portcullis and at the broken features of it, she turns her hand back, kind of does a simple gesture, causing the wall to shut again. And I'll move us back to the big map. And she looks.
Go through that room. Do we see any key-shaped objects?
There don't appear to be any keyblades in that space. No.
Blade keys.
Blade key. Sorry, so sorry. Ooh. Once you kind of come out to the front, and again, you'd be kind of here-ish. Bear with me here. Oh my god, why is my computer doing this? Why does my computer hate me? Is the main question. She would look upwards instead of straight out. She kind of gives the portcullis and the creatures kind of dead on the ground in front of it, like a notice. But then she immediately kind of looks upward and she says, "Huh. Interesting. Very interesting." She
Is the sky wrong?
turns her hand upwards. The portcullis starts to raise, and she looks back at you. "It's not the same sky that I came under, no." She steps out of the portcullis, walks over to the Nyoji. "Mind spiders," she says, reaching down, kind of grabbing it by its eel neck, looking at it in its face, kind of angrily. And then she just kind of squeezes, causing the neck to kind of pop in her fist.
Nasty little buggers, eh?
They are, indeed. I know they are not native of our world. But here they are, chasing us still.
Mm-hmm.
All throughout the climb, they harangued us.
The climb.
The climb. She would say this as she kind of looks out over the bridge, like on the main castle bridge. which I'm not going to move us to the map of. We're just going to theater of the mind it. And she looks down and she says, "What has happened here?"
Did this look different?
Morgan is not below.
Mulligan?
Morgan. If you'd like, you can make an
Can
Arcana
I
check.
history
Arcana.
or Arcana? And is this lore?
Ooh, me too.
It is.
I get that bonus too.
25 is the DC exactly. Yeah, it is not an easy one.
Oh, damn.
Morgan, at least the way she's saying it, does sound referential to a place in the elemental plane of Earth within the elemental chaos. Morgan is a city that is said to be home to a faction known as the Union. It is not widely connected with societies, kind of keyed to the material plane, but you do know that there are some who are capable wizards who are able to elicit trades with citizens of Morgan and the Union. But it is very much not a place that exists in the material plane. No, no, no. I said no. Okay, fine. You're gonna be cute. I'm gonna scoop you up, put you on TV.
Just gonna ask if you're doing more copies.
No, he's he wants attention. He just wants the pets. And he's very fluffy today. So
So she just looked over and was expecting the city.
she was expecting
Yeah,
to see a
so-
city below, yeah.
So when she says we're not over Mulligan, Tom will sorry. We're Urs. Actually, more specifically Jernaris.
Urs? Oh, we are very far from home.
Mm-hmm.
I,
And we jumped from down there.
how long ago did you jump?
Ooh. Hours, maybe?
So not very recent, or not very long ago. And
Very recently, yes.
before you jumped, what did this look like? Did it float above where you jumped from?
Yes. Just kind of hanging there. In the sky.
Something big on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is a not welcome development. Very much unhappy about this. My people are said to have come from this place, known as Inn. And it only appears at the height of Mount Mog every dozen or so years. And not for long either. But long enough that our 6-month stint should have been fine. Usually it's there for about a year or two. Where it goes and where it comes from, we aren't certain, but I know this. My ancestors built this place with their own hands.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
So we did some walking around before we got inside, and we might have seen some, well, we'll just call it what? It was a demon who said that we weren't allowed in the heart, so we didn't go in. Do you know what's in the heart?
My concerns have not been with the heart. From my understanding, the heart of Inn is to the north, the tower, the spire. She kind of points out that direction. I have been focused more on the conflict.
Sorry, the conflict.
Yes. First things first. Show me where you landed.
No, yeah. Tommel
You-
goes, runs over.
March along the way. The guards kind of don't prod you, they just kind of stay with you. There's a total of 5 of them, so it seems that she has kind of taken to Tommel due to him kind of chiming up. But the other ones kind of, each one of them seems to be kind of standing near to one of you. It doesn't look like they're ready to attack you or anything, it just looks like they're being kind of casual in their guardianship of you. She walks with Tommel across the bridge, down the rock to the gate that leads down below. And she stares down. Huh. Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Urs. Huh. I've never been. Is it sturdy?
For the most part.
Yes, that's the thing I've been hating most about this. It doesn't feel sturdy, but I know my ancestors built it. It just feels... Looks down at you. Light.
Floaty, almost?
Fluffy, yes.
Yeah.
Like your ears.
Strokes him.
I mean no
She's definitely gonna try to keep you.
She says, I mean no insult
yeah.
by it.
Of course. It's accurate. Smiles.
Oh my god. Almost so much.
I know. She kind of looks to Sarah, and like, there's this moment where she's just kind of staring at her. Like, it's almost like someone, like, catches their reflection in a mirror for a second. She kind of looks at Sarah and says, I know of humans. Some have passed through Mogin before. And I know of tieflings. I know of the bird folk. We don't deal with them much. We have dealt with the Haragon before. But this one, she kind of points to Cindrix. You are a dragon, but you are a man. Some sort of dragon
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
That's what I call him.
Are you a child of a dragon?
Well, no, not per se, no.
Similar to how he is not the child of a bird, but of a bird person.
Yeah. Exactly.
I am a person bird. That is correct.
Person first language.
Like- Like, similar to that.
It is not unwelcome to see the mixing of the peoples of Urs. I just am pleased to see the deviations of what I know to be the original form. The gods. It's very interesting to see a foreign god like Salon's children having intermixed with the children of the Triumvirate.
Did you say a foreign?
Oh,
Yeah.
would that ring in Cindrix's like bell in his? Would I ring a bell in his mind or something?
So Salon is not a god of the plane. There, like I've said a lot of times before, he's technically considered a power. But him and the elvish power, and also the power of the moon, and the power of nature, they're not considered to be native to the plane. They are things that have interjected themselves from outside of Urs. So Salon has a number of different stories about how he was born of an egg in the sky. If you are also trained in history, Cindrix, you would know that that has to do with the breaking of the astral gate, which allowed influences from the outside at the beginning of time to enter into the space. This was most kind of brought to the fore by the College of the Song of Creation, where Cyric stones kind of come from. The elvish god is said to have just appeared and just started, being about. And Kashea Thea, the power of nature, is said to have been like the Feywild is to Urs. She is to Allowane. She is basically like an echo of life, and that's why it kind of breeds into more the kind of one wood, the trees, the forest at the beginning of time. And then Stasia is a longer story who you probably don't have reference on. It's not important for this campaign. There aren't moons in your background. So you kind of have an understanding of what she means by foreign god. And then you'd also note that, Tommel, her kind of being kind of fascinated with, the peoples of Urs. Like, we do know that the peoples of Urs are plain touched or, kind of touched in a way that is, they're peoples of their own kind. Some of them bred by magic, like I believe the Haragon are like a magical.
Fae, yeah.
Yeah, they're Fae creatures. Like, there's definitely like a large amount of outside influences on Urs, where that's probably not the case on the elemental plane of Earth. It's probably just a bunch of giants kind of hanging out in the one pocket that's livable, and maybe there are some dwarves and stuff therein as well who've crossed over and are hanging out there. But yeah, it's probably not. It's a dull place, so not a lot of people are going to want to live there anyway. It's like surrounded by rock. This is boring shit. But the elemental plane of air, on the other hand, now that place is cool. And the elemental plane of fire, don't get me started. It's a party all the time. But yeah, it seems like she is definitely not familiar with the Dragonborn. She would say, these mind spiders we've tangled with before, and they have been chasing us. They entered into the city, making contracts with the vizier of the city of Mogan. They wished to trade. The vizier, being a archon, was happy to do so. However, their traditions in the hierarchy are not similar to what we hold as truths. Much like yourself in the cage, you wish to be free at all times. Am I not wrong?
It's true.
That's pretty on point. Yeah.
This was born into us as well. And I apologize. It is a matter of habit. It is easier to deal with a problem when it is...
Contained?
Yes.
Tied up.
And she's kind of talking with you like this as you're kind of making your way back across the bridge.
Mhm.
She would say, but I must get back to my research. The conflict. What are you here for? Or did you just jump? Did you make a leap of
So
faith?
it's probably the best time to explain what we're doing here. Yeah, and who we are.
Okay.
Right, Kiara?
Do you give her the whole block, or do you kind of hold back on anything? Or do you just want to say what you say?
I think that was in character.
I thought that was.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting John doesn't have a voice. Garrett is just John, but Bird. Okay, sorry. DM shuts up. You asked the question in character. I'm sorry.
What was the question?
I think it's just
Sorry.
about time that we explain what we're doing here and who we are, and I think we're friendly enough and on good enough terms.
Yes. I'm sorry. We are not properly introduced. I am Kuyura of the... Oh no, my mind is going blank. The Guild of Restoration of Ordris. And these are my colleagues, Sindrix, Gil, Skeran, Tomil, and Sarah. We are, we travel to find technology of the long forgotten past of Ordris in order to better the lives of the people uh, of our lands. Um, this place is a node of such technology, and we have come to investigate. Uh, did she ever, out of character, did she ever give her name, or was she ever introduced?
Nope. So since you've just given your kind of
Yeah.
introduction, she will kind of turn
Mhm.
back and say, "Oh," and takes everybody's name in kind, and she will say, "I am Sham Hulia. I am the one who seeks the Storm Herald." And Gil would kind of like lean in and say, "Sham is just a Goliath word for priest." And that'd be Sham. The A is kind of more of a sham kind of sound when properly pronounced.
Sham Julia?
Hulia, Hulea.
Julia.
Which, for the religiously minded, will kind of key back to the temple, or the cenotaph. You remember the descriptions of Hule, Suke, and Numa, and those were the kind of like physical matter, soul, and spirit. And it seems like she has been named kind of after the Hylic kind of cycle. And you get to watch Cat.
Cat.
Okay.
I'm just not
The
going to play
one
it.
who seeks the Storm Herald.
Correct.
That's normal. Okay. Um.
And it seems like when she says Storm Herald, she kind of takes a second to translate the word in her head. Like she definitely seems to be kind of speaking in common, with a decent proficiency, but she definitely kind of takes a second for that word storm or those words Storm Herald, as if she's kind of focusing on what those would be in common.
Well, what a coincidence.
We have one right here.
A Storm Herald. Do you? What does that mean to seek a Storm Herald? If you don't mind me asking.
No, not a problem. I definitely can explain quite a bit. Our people have been living uh, in and around Mogin for centuries, quite some time to be sure. To be sure, we have lived in a balance with the archons and the peoples of Mogin. We've been welcome enough, but as far as I can understand, we have always been considered outsiders there. We've done our research, and our stories and traditions passed on through the familial lines have led me to decide that the occurrence of the Cap of Inn appearing on Mount Mog was a direct source of our people. So it was described to us by the Archons that when they first came in to encounter our people, we were falling from there into the city. But when we fell then, we fell on wings of lightning. So, from what I understand of what I've been able to find in this place, as far as literature and documents that I've been able to decipher, long ago, an individual named Ordric and another individual named Bacard met here, high in the mountain. My ancestors came to watch them. It was said that they fought in heaven itself. And she kind of takes a second with the word heaven. When she says the word kind of afterwards, like kind of using both the common and Goliath word, Gil would actually translate the word she's using for heaven in Goliath to being summit, not heaven. But she seems to have a kind of conception as to what the word translates to specifically in common. Maybe due to the connotation she's using the word. They came to this place. They fought. They were conflicted. One's tribe was set to rule this place. The others as well. And they could not make peace over it. It is said that the conflict itself spurred a tradition of Goliaths coming up the mountain to watch them as pilgrimage. They left many a note here, and they left many creature comforts here for those who would come to watch. There's no description here as to why this place was built in its entirety, but there are descriptions as to how it was done. There was help from others, not as acclimated to the mountains, but keen on craftsmanship. Their names were not their own. They were names that they carried with them, or so it was said. I don't know what that means. But from what I understand, they were probably pilgrims themselves, brought here to the sides of our ancestors to build this place. And for whatever reason, the conflict continues. I watch it in hopes of seeing if there's anything here that I could learn from. It seemed that many people came here to watch this conflict between these two. And they've fought since well before my people arrived in Mogan. Do you have an idea of how long they might have been at this conflict?
Hold on, let me take a beat just to make sure that I'm like understanding. She's telling us that her people originally from Mulgan made pilgrimage to watch the conflict.
No. So her people from Mogan actually resided in what she calls the summit, wherever that is. She doesn't know, but it's not Mogan. They came here and built this place, and then her ancestors ended up in Mogan when this place appeared on the top of Mount Moog in the elemental plane of Earth, above the city of Mogan. And then this place is called Inn.
With my historical knowledge, does it seem to be possible that her ancestors came from Ordris?
So she said that one of the giants' names is Ordric.
Right.
Yeah. So she also said that humans, came and helped build this place. And she also said that those people had no name. They had names that they brought with them, is what she said. Names from where they came from. She doesn't understand what that means. She just knows.
I mean, I don't understand what that means.
So, out of character, if you'd like, or in character, if you want to make a history check to see if you can decipher what.
Hell yeah, I do.
Because
that's all I want to do.
Its context is pretty. 21 sufficient. So the people that were in this region in the past, and 23 is more than sufficient. The people who were in this place in the past, the humans that were in this place in the past, they came from different places. And there was a time where they did not have a name as a collective people. So there were the people from Parnak, and there were the people from Scoria, and when they came here, they had the names from those foreign or those other lands, the places outside of this space. So, what you would kind of contextually kind of place together is the humans that helped build this place, helped the Goliaths build this place, were probably these ancestors, the pre-Ordric people.
According to what you are sharing with us, it seems likely to me, and Tomo, you are also a historical expert. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like um, the humans who helped your ancestors build here, um, likely originated here in Urs, here in Ordris. Have you considered that? Have you ever been down to Urs and to Ordris?
No, I have lived in Mogan my entire life. I've traveled outside of it on pilgrimages to the holy sites around there, but this is the first attempt I've made to rise up to the top of Mount Moog and seek out this information. Others in my understanding have tried, but none have ever returned back to the city. It is my hope and intent to do just that, so that I can tell my brethren what I found. You say that you believe that the humans about here, kind of looks to Sarah when she says that, are the very people who would have been here in the past, their descendants.
What you describe in your own histories, from what you know, it parallels very much with what we know of the humans in this area.
She turns to Sarah and says, in Ordric,
Sorry.
in Ordric, I was told that I would know those who were our allies by a shared tongue.
Then Star would reply back in Ordric. Then allies we must be.
She kind of like, there's almost like a gasp, like, and her eyes kind of widen. This is a very intriguing day to be sure. And a great one, to be certain. Come, watch the conflict with me. Maybe you can see something I do not. And she would head back into the space, kind of shifting the wall, entering into the staircases that kind of lead up. And just to kind of give you a quick yada 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 as to what you're bypassing, the very first floor you saw, that's the cool seats and stuff. The second floor is what appears to be some sort of map room. The map in question doesn't look familiar, and it does have a bunch of notes on it. My cat wants this mouse, by the way. He saw it move across the screen, and he is just going to go for it. This is his belly. It is filled with soup. There's soup there. And then he will now ploppy downies, and we'll flatten the boy, flatten him. Okay, so that's not happening. He's just going to do his own thing. So the next floor, hold on. Let me see if I can get you quick shifted into it so you can see it, because it's kind of important. But kind of not. Just okay, now. We just can't do this, buddy. You can't just knock stuff off of the damn desk. So
Back in front of the camera like boss.
Yeah. It's like, I do what I want. Okay, fine, live that life. So inside of this space, as you're kind of being led up, there's a very just like throne-like chair at a table. The table has a map kind of engraved onto it. The mountain does, or the map does not look familiar. It does look like there are notes that are written kind of Goliath. Please, someone grab that. It's too late.
I tried.
Okay, so table. Don't recognize the markings on it. Does look like there are a bunch of notes. It looks like written in Goliath hand, like someone has been trying to transcribe what's been going on here. And then there's one more floor? Is this? Oh yeah, there's one more floor. The floor, the last floor, it has two large doors, kind of sealed, kind of in the hall space, and then just kind of goes up past that. That's not exactly what I wanted, but that works. That's the one. That is the one. Oh my god. Open in browser. I'm going to copy that. Let's go ahead. Hold on. Just go and click here. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh my
open in browser. Okay, that's what we're looking at now.
I almost feel like he's trying to cuddle
You're
with us
welcome.
'cause he's
yeah, I
Usually I'm
appreciate-
quicker on. Usually I'm quicker
I
on
already,
the draw.
I already gave you inspiration for something, so I'll give it to you again. You can just pass it along to whoever.
He DM'd
Who
out.
gave me inspiration last? I think it was Magpie. So I'm gonna give it to Magpie.
Yeah, I
Just
think that was
random.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're just looking at that now. So people watching, sorry. But then we are going to go back to the map. You'll make it to the top of the building there, and at this point, you will see that there is the conflict, and there's already another Goliath there with again features similar to Sara's. It's kind of present there. She has like a full head of hair, and she's the one with the black hair you saw off in the distance when you kind of came up with the raptor. You would look at them, and they appear to be fighting, kind of going full on, full bore. Lightning being thrown, massive clouds of like in gusts of wind being kind of brushed out towards one another, and they just appear to be fighting. Across the way, kind of over here, you see that there is a Goliath who is kind of situated near a horn, kind of looking down at the conflict. And as you kind of come up, the leader would look to the woman and say something. Make it stop. Start them from the beginning. And she would nod, kind of yell something out over the field, and you'd see the Goliath warrior over by the horn go, oh, and kind of grab the horn and
Did not care for that sound.
Did your best.
He looks so mad.
Why you honking in my face?
Unacceptable. He said, actually, no. The two fighters would basically move back towards their sides, similar to what you saw when they both knocked each other down. She would walk out towards the edge, kind of looking down, turn back to Sara, and just in common, so everyone can understand, she would say, that one, gesturing towards the cloud giant on the left, and these are not one for one how they look, but that one is Ordric, from what I've been able to gather, and that one is Bacard. They fight and have been doing so since I've arrived here, and the presumption is that they've been doing so for as long as this place has been standing, and even before that. The horn stops them for whatever reason, and their fighting techniques are very similar to the ones that I was trained in, and that our warriors here have been trained in. But still, I don't understand the purpose of it. A number of my
Wouldn't it
warriors...
be the other way around?
What's that?
Wouldn't it be the other way around?
What would be the other way around?
No, nothing. Nothing.
Were you asking
I
in
mean,
character?
evil.
Yes, in character.
Okay, sorry. Me as the dum-dum. I'm trying to understand what the question
I'm
was.
going to make a voice. I'll make a voice.
No, don't make a voice. But what's the question in reference to what I just said? My brain's not, like, clicking. Sorry.
My understanding wouldn't Ordris be...
No, Ordric is the cloud giant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No worries. I didn't say which one was which before, did I? Okay, good.
You did.
Did I?
You said the one on the left was
Ordris, Picard.
Ordris.
Ordric,
Picard.
Picard. Yeah, but before that, I mean, before we let up here, I didn't say Ordric
I
was a
don't think
storm
so.
giant, did
No,
I?
no, no, no.
Okay, okay, just making sure.
So then what is Picard then?
Picard's a storm giant.
Yeah.
Ordric's a cloud
Cloud
giant.
Storm.
Yeah.
Okay, Cloud Storm. Got it.
So she would explain this and kind of explain the routine here. Basically, they fight, and they always end up in a draw. It's not always the same fight every time. It's very different each time, and then they back off towards the their ends, rest until they're healed, and then fight again. But you can stop their fighting with the horn. They fight wordlessly. They do not say anything. And none of the warriors have been brave enough to enter into the space. So they don't know what they would do if someone were to go into that space. They do note that there are the massive gates. They are able to open those. They have access to the mechanism that does that. And they have not gone across the bridge on the north side, so they didn't know anything about the demon you had mentioned.
How long have you been working here?
About 5 or 6 months.
Let me see. From my arcane perspective, does this seem like two literal motherfucking giants punching each other, or does this seem like some form of illusion or some other?
Yeah, so if it is an illusion, it's a
Weird
very, very good
thing.
one because it's causing the ground to shake when they get knocked down. It's also, like, looking at it, it appears to be very real. Casting Detect Magic will kind of denote that they are magical beings because they are, cloud and storm
Right.
giants respectively, and also that their equipment is magical as well. The one kind of weird aura about both of them is they have this very strange kind of gold halo around their heads when you look at them in the detect magic, like in the magic spectrum. And knowing that, if anybody who's trained in religion wants to make a religion check, they can, based on the halo.
Yeah. Legend.
Okay, so it definitely has something to do with divinity. You can be sure of that. With both of you, can be sure of that. But what it means, you can't be certain of directly. But you're pretty sure if anything has to do with them being able to fight for as long as they have been, deathlessly, it's probably that. They seem to have been touched in some way by something divine that allows them to continue this conflict.
Divine as in,
Divinity,
like, are we
like a god.
like the triumvirate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it could mean like a power.
Or it could be a power. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun and normal.
Powers basically serve at the pleasure of the gods, so I mean, kind of an indirect, direct kind of thing. It's either direct or indirect.
Yeah.
Except for those ones that we mentioned before: the elf, the nature, the dragon, and the moon. So, if you watch, they get back to it. They start fighting. Yeah, again, Sarah, you're seeing from the Cloud Giant a number of techniques in kind. I mentioned that the Cloud Giant had a glaive, and the Storm Giant had a sword, and like you can see that there are techniques you were taught as a child being implemented by the Cloud Giant, just in massive form. She just kind of looks at you folks curiously, not really interjecting or anything, just as you kind of watch the conflict play out. And yeah, after about 10 or so minutes, again, a long fight to be sure, you watch as they both kind of come in at each other at the same time, feeling like they've got an opening, and they both strike each other at exactly the same time, flying backwards, hitting the ground with like a grunt, both being knocked unconscious.
Excuse me, sorry. The Council of an Ordress, like, is it likely that they will have, yeah, it is possible, right, that they will have, scholars even more kind of well-read than me and Tommel?
Not
That's-
much more.
Not much more. Okay. We're pretty much about as expert.
Yeah, you guys go out into the field, like, you definitely know.
And then Syndrix in religion is very knowledgeable too.
Oh,
Well, so out of character, like all that Queera is really thinking is like, this is a big fucking discovery for Ordris and for the guild. And like she's thinking about, you know, how there could be like a permanent research installation here. And those of you that know her well probably can see like the wheels turning as she's kind of looking out at the conflict.
Sorry, the Roll20 just logged me off in one window and then asked me for some stuff, so I'm just making sure that I'm not accidentally...
Probably your cat trying to make you play with it. Play with him.
He didn't tell us.
Maybe they were watching and they just canceled your subscription.
Yeah.
I got scared for a second. I was like,
He said
Talk
Keyblade
shit
way
for
too many
half a
times.
minute.
posting pictures of me on your Discord making jokes, huh, bitch? He's like, I got you. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, kill the account. Go ahead to John. Sorry.
Do we think that this would have anything to do with the heart?
Well, that's what I would like to find out.
I don't
Personally?
know much of the heart. I do know what I've seen here.
Oh, have you seen anything? Show him the spear key thing.
Blade key.
Well, there's a spear
Eagle-Eye.
and there's a blade.
Who keeps
I
beating me?
was shouting that at Sarah to try and get her to pull out the key spear.
It's
I would.
Johnny.
Blade
He-
key.
Huh?
Johnny keeps eating his mic.
Wait, what?
You keep eating your
Me?
mic.
Oh, my
Sensitivity's
Am I?
a little high.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. The thing is I have to play it at full like audio over here, so it's like kind of blaring and then like turned down on my thing, so everything comes in through my ears. It's just so I can know what's being broadcast out, and so when like a mic pop happens, it's like.
Oh, I
It's okay. It hasn't been bad. It just came up like a couple times recently. It's the only reason I mentioned it. If it was just a one, I would have been like, yeah, but it was like, pep, 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 pep. And so that's why I'm complaining. Like, yeah.
Oh.
So, you explained to her the north side again, right?
Mhm.
Okay. She says, I have not gone much to investigate that because I've found no literature that has anything to do with the heart and also that spire. I definitely get a bad vibe from it.
Yeah,
Which is why
I did say demon
that,
Well,
or
just
devil.
Sorry.
devil, yes.
which is why I've kept
Um,
my folks away from it.
One and and Sarah, did you pull out the keyblade? Key spear?
Keyglaive.
Glaive. Glaive.
Glaive.
Keyglaive. Keyglaive.
Glaive key.
Glaive key.
Hold it out to show it.
Have your people found anything like this?
We have left most relics where they are. Um, we have not. Um, well, actually, no, we have. It's in the very depths of this place. Um, we have a resting room we've kind of secured in the most defensible place in this structure, at the bowels of the gestures towards the arena, deep beneath there. Um, I can take you to it if you wish.
Oh, yes, please.
We appreciate
You-
that.
Would you want to go with us to the heart? After I believe we can
I can accompany
unlock
you.
the. Okay, I believe we can unlock the padlocks on the chain devil. I'm just holding up with these keys.
Mm, interesting. Yes, of course.
It's different. It's definitely different.
We can certainly try it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Bear with me here for a second. Um, so you descend down, and when we get down to the basement, um, it is a room that looks like it has had a number of beds kind of migrated from other places in this structure to it. Like you've actually seen spaces where it looks like there might have been a bed, but there wasn't. In the kind of climb up to this place, inside of the main structure. And when you get down here, you can see it's kind of just a place that people have been kind of, living in. Looks like there's probably maybe 20 or so people that have kind of taken up this space as their own. And on one wall, because there's two staircases that descend down into this space, but there's one wall kind of set between those two staircases, and on it, kind of pinned to the wall, is a glaive that looks like the glaive that Sarah has on her person. She would explain, this one was here. We've noticed a number of weapons were kind of in places, but the only things that have engaged us as being of interest are the wand that our warden has and the some of the arrows from some of these spaces.
Do you mind if we take that?
Not a problem. She kind of just reaches down and grabs like the side of the bed frame, kind of pushes it astride. And then
Oh,
another
no
one-
need. And
Oh.
Tom will use his mage hand to pull it off the wall.
It's kind of pinioned to the wall, so you're kind of like, yeah. So she
Ah.
kind of pulls it astride, and we'll walk over to it, pull out a chisel and a hammer, and kind of like break apart the staples effectively that are kind of holding it to the wall. And then once she's kind of taken it from the wall, she'll kind of hand it over to you. At that point, though, I'd like everybody to go ahead and make a perception roll.
Perception.
And feel free to spend inspiration if you feel it's worth it.
Darn.
Never mind. It's not necessary. So Scarron, as she kind of pulls the blade off the wall kind of forms this nice little, like, the stairs are right behind the wall, right? So it kind of forms like a nice little triangle, like a pyramid shape. Let me see if I can give you a visual on that. Hold on. Bear with. Bit, bop, boom, bam. Pow. Paste. And shift. And snapping. Alright, so like I said, bunch of beds, right? Just shoved in there. And you see how the staircases kind of descend down?
Mm-hmm.
So the wall does the same thing. So it kind of forms this kind of triangle shape wall in like the center of the room, right? And those two beds were the ones she kind of shifted astride, and the blade was kind of on the wall in between them. And as you're looking at her pull the thing off and kind of set it to the side, you very clearly see like a line straight down the middle that was hidden behind that glaive. like a breach point for a door. And it also, as you're kind of like looking at it with your big old owl eyes, just kind of inspecting it, you can see that it is for certain a door. There is a door there, but you don't know how it opens. You just know that it's there.
He'll like scratch his chin and be like, if you look real closely, there's a little bit of a.
The war priest will
You
kind
see what
of
I'm saying?
turn and look to it and look at it as well, very kind of intrigued.
Real close, real close.
And you kind of look at it and you're kind of investigating it. And if you want to have yourself roll an investigation roll there, Scarin, see if you can figure out how this can trap. And sure enough, you do see that there are a pair of blocks kind of at the center that were kind of hidden behind the, like their meeting was kind of hidden behind the glaive, and you can just barely reach your fingertips into between them and pull them both out. And at that point, they kind of form handles, and you're able to kind of open the door. And in doing so, you're met by something that you certainly were not expecting, would never have been expecting. You hear the hum of magic, very similar to the hum that you felt when you entered into the Cenotaph heart, like the depths of the Cenotaph. It's just that magical kind of glow that's almost electric. This hallway moves in about 10 feet wide and then opens up to about a 20-foot width. And when it does that, the floor appears to be made out of solid gold. The walls are lined with brass and bronze, and there are strange alien-looking symbols all about them. Directly in front of you, you can see a bright blue light that seems to be transparent and see-through and leads out into this very strange-looking hall. Very alien, very, very different. And I am going to move you onto the map that is beyond that space as you look into this area and can see it for yourself. 1 second here.
Well, that is certainly something.
It is certainly something indeed.
Interesting.
I'm glad we didn't try to murder this nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all worked out.
Good thing we come in peace. Woo!
So you would
Congrats to us for not being murder hobos.
you would see a bright blue wall of force that appears to be like a good 5 feet thick directly in front of you.
Oh.
It looks like there is a long path that continues past that to another one, beyond that to another one, and then a strange looking portal way beyond that. On either side of you are massive globes of force that seem to be filled with exploding stars. And these appear to line the sides of this room all the way to its end. The second you kind of look into this room, Scarin, or kind of peering in, you start hearing what sounds like a baby crying.
Oh boy, here we go.
And it's the best way to describe the sound of it is it sounds like a baby's crying through like a synth mechanism. Like it's like drawing it out throughout like a kind of like
Like it's auto-tuned.
no, but like in a bad way. Like it's like robotic almost. It's like, you know, when someone's like lagging and their voice can
Yeah.
it's like that, but a baby crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely does not look like you have any means of bypassing that wall yet. But it definitely does look like if you were to follow this line, the back end of this would probably be connected to, at least so far as you can tell, the edge of the structure that you're standing on. Does that make sense? Let me try and
Yes.
make sense of it. So you have the structure that you're standing on, and then there's the structure that the heart's on, and they're connected. So you feel like if you were to kind of come to a point, there would be like a divide between the two. So it doesn't lead directly to the heart, it just leads to the back wall of where you are. Make sense? Any questions regarding this room?
Nope.
All right.
No.
Well, then with that and the just strange blue chamber, that's where we'll end for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will pick up there next week.